Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4. We're playing as Germany. Okay. We'll continue going here, but no, we just want to select those infantry divisions. I want to move them to East Prussia. So they're sitting in a port, and you just right-click on the other port. They go there. They'll lose all their organization. Also, if you SR them, they lose all their organization. Oh. Pause. Oh, yeah, okay. We need to modify the government. You will not lose organization if you're doing a naval invasion, which is different than port-to-port transport. Okay. For Chief of the Army, we have Ludwig Beck with divisional organization +8. We have William Keitel, division training time -10%. Von Brauhitsch, division movement speed +10%. And Franz Halder, which will give division attack +10%. Got to pick. Well, you can leave the thing empty, but you can only pick one at a time. Obviously, for 150 political points, we can switch it out. I'm going to go with reducing training time because we're very early 39 and we're still building units and not attacking or moving or anything else. So we may, if I remember correctly, well, I'll try to change that. You see the war starting and I haven't changed that. You may want to poke me on that. Okay. Like I was saying, naval invasions, you do not lose organization with. Now, been looking at some of the postings on the forum, so I wanted to cover a few things. One person thought that once he started building new tanks, all the other tanks converted to the newer model. Well, if you're looking here, and currently light tanks, and it uses the Panzer II symbol here, and it just gives, total number and that we're lacking some. But if you look at a division, let's go to one of these older divisions here. You can look here and see that they have 238 Panzerkampfwagen 1s and 2 Panzerkampfwagen 2s. This is because it's an old division. For a little while, what happened was we were producing Panzer 2s. It started to replace the old Panzer 1s with Panzer 2s until new divisions started training. So we can look at, well, let's look over here at this division here. This is the one that's just come back from Spain. It has 45 Panzerkampfwagen 1s and 4 Panzerkampfwagen 2s. So it's under strength from combat losses, movement attrition, and other things. Now over here you can look and see that this division has 240 Panzerkampfwagen 2. So the new training units got the new production. So that's how it will go. Once it fills up all of its needs, then it will start replacing the older vehicles with the newer vehicles. A few things you can do with the older vehicles. You can lend-lease them. We could have been lend-leasing some of them to Spain or to Japan to get a little experience and get rid of the older vehicles, or we can, once the war sort of starts, we can lend-lease them to potential allies like Hungary or Romania so that they'll have at least some tanks, or they'll just be consumed in combat if we're not producing enough other vehicles. There is no mechanic to upgrade, and this is also another. Players wanted to upgrade you can see here the older fighters, the HE-51s to BF-109, you can't upgrade those at all. Those are entirely unupgradable, and of course historically you can't upgrade things like that. You could put a newer engine on an older 109 and things like that, but there's no mechanic to do that. There's not even a mechanic, which would be nice, to be able to take a Panzer II and turn it into a Marder II by reprocessing it. But what we can do, let's see, over here. Well, let's wait 4 days and I'll show you. As you can see, I've moved a lot of the troops to the borders. Now, here, what you can do is grab all of these units here. Create a group, like they generically label it army. We're gonna, whether it's whatever size it is, we're going to put it in a new theater. In this theater, we're gonna call West. Or obviously the Western Front. Now here we can, it's right now medium priority. We can upgrade it to high priority. So now if we upgrade a front here to high priority, and some of the like these old divisions there, they will be getting the highest priority on the new tanks and replacing the old ones. So you can do that if you want to do that. Or if this is going to be a reserve, garrison, police, whatever type front or theater, whatever you want to call it, you can do low priority, so it gets all the old junk, because you know you're getting ready for the Soviet invasion of the Soviet Union. You're garrisoning France. You want to make sure the combat units that are going to be doing the hard fighting get all the good equipment. You can lower the priority. We're going to keep it at the Western Front balanced for now. So that's the only game effect you have by assigning fronts, or you know, for your order of battle type things. The only other thing is for human interaction, to be able to quickly click on it and see all of the military groups currently labeled armies. But sometimes we will put together smaller units. Sometimes bigger units would be equivalent of army groups. Let's see, we don't need a very good division holding the Maginot line, or leader holding the Maginot line. So I don't know why they rated List and Von Kleist so low and Model so low. Model was rose to higher ranks and later in the war, so maybe that's part of it. But Von Kleist, fair job. He was sort of in charge of the panzers for Fallweiss, or you know, the Western campaign against France, the Battle of France. Definitely not as good as Manstein and Guderian and Rommel that were under him, but he was okay. I would not rate, and List I would also rate better than a 1, but we'll give them that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click here, and since I want him to garrison the full French border, you can left click on it, and so he is now garrisoning the full French border. Okay, I was going to say, wait for that. Now, if you want to say, okay, now one reason to do this is if you're a history buff like me and you just want to make historical equipment. That's one of the reasons to do it. This, what I'm going to show you here. The other reason is as you've seen, when you start a new production line, like here, it's heavily in the red, so that it's slow to produce new equipment. So if we were to change light tank production over to medium tank production, it'll go almost down to as if it were entirely starting a new thing. But what we can do is here is you click one of these. This is for the Martyr, which is an anti-tank fighting vehicle. The Wasp, which is a 105mm artillery vehicle, and what do they call this? The Flat Panzer Loche. Well, yeah, didn't make too many of these actually. They're sort of standing in for the version that was made on the 38T chassis, but anti-aircraft, armored anti-aircraft. So we're going to research these. It's only going to take 17 days, so it's really quick to research this new vehicle type, so it won't disrupt my overall plans. And so if we want to start building Panzer IIIs, but you don't want to totally give up this old production line, you can turn it into something useful with minimum amount of disruption to your production. Now here, I want to show the AI a little bit. Okay, we're going to create new group. We're going to put it in a new theater. We're going to call this theater Ost for East. And that, we're going to put that in there, and then we want, oh no, cancel. We're going to do a little better general. Let's see. No, not Papa Hoff. We'll do Reinhard. Okay, now I'm going to do the other way of drawing the borders. You don't have to do it this way, but I'll show you in just a second. The reason to do it this way is you can right click and then drag along the border to specify the border that we want to defend, and then the AI will move units as it feels most appropriate. According to Steve Volt, the main AI programmer, it will try to match up the best unit type to the best terrain. Now he says location is a factor. So, and he's used example, if there's a mountain division way over here and you just draw borders way, all along here, you won't necessarily march the mountain division all the way across. So locality does matter according to him. I don't know how big it matters, but according to him it does matter. Now, the big reason I like to often, and just have gotten in the habit of drawing the borders, is something like this. Now, I create another group. Let's see, I'll put it under. Well, not really. Put it under Yobo. Want to make sure we click there, and then I'm dropping and dragging because I want to stop right at that province. So I want him. There's not enough divisions here to fully man this border. There's one short here. But I want him to man only that part of the border. I will be adding more units as we build them. Now, I want to have him start to plan. There we go. To start to plan for a potential offensive. So I'm going to draw an offensive line like that. So he will start to plan and his troops will improve that. Come here. We're going to draw an offensive line, include all these are victory hexes, or provinces I should say, but we're going to draw this line so that he will, and you can hold it over here and you can see how potentially they're going to advance. It's a broad front strategy here, and again here you can see how they're going to potentially advance. And come up here, research now. Let's see, we're still early 38. We're going to start researching the Panzer III. And we have free civilian factories. Okay. 2 more of those. Military factories. Now, I also want to look at my trades currently. How are we doing? Okay. And I want to look at logistics. We have 3,000 extra currently in demand. Artillery pieces, 23,000 extra infantry equipment. We need to keep producing those, but I don't know if we need to keep producing them in such great numbers. I also think we can reduce this by 1. One of the reasons I early on quickly overproduced those is because they're going to be still effective, but they weren't costing any fuel or rubber. So we're going to increase tanks. Now we're going to increase fighter aircraft. And we're building those. Do we have any? Okay, we have some of those in production. I think we're going to produce one more naval. Increase the naval bomber. Production and anti-tank. You can see here that by doing another factory it sets back the efficiency level considerably. And now also, which will affect these things, we want to go in here and okay, how are we doing? Training SS divisions. Okay, we just recently deployed one because there's no training. So we're going to cancel this. Not going to hurt us. The manpower goes back to the pool. But what I want to do here is we're going to duplicate this division. And we're going to call this motorized division. And so now that we have, did I forget to hit the button? Save it? I guess I did. Okay, so got to do that over again. So duplicate. Yeah, just got to hit the save even though it's not costing us anything. And then you hit save here. And that didn't cost us anything. We have a new division type, and we're going to edit this. We're going to, it's right now coming on as elite. We're going to have it as a default division. That will radically reduce its training time in the recruit and deployment period. So it will, we'll get more of them quicker. And so this is going to be just a regular army motorized division, and not an elite SS type division. Now, go to the standard infantry division here. We can look at support brigades here. We're going to add a reconnaissance company. As you can see, it improves a lot of movement types and various defense and breakthrough and soft attack. So we're going to add a reconnaissance company here. I call them companies as they are, but it just sort of a nebulous term, but it's a support element. Now over here on a Panzer division, we're going to come over here. We're going to add a maintenance company. This will reduce losses of expensive equipment like tanks and trucks. So we're going to do that. We're going to add that to the standard and so all Panzer divisions, built or unbuilt or being built, will change to the new mode so long as they are this. Now, if you notice, there's like this old Schnell division. We inherited this from Austria. We inherited the template and a few units. Now for they have a Alpenjäger division, which we could decide to start manufacturing, but I think we just inherited a couple of those. But we're going to stick with the Gebirgsjäger Brigade for the moment, but we're going to start turning it into a division by adding support artillery and we're also going to add a recon company as well. And so by doing that, all these divisions that are already built down here will, as you notice, because we're going really fast, it's now up to current fighting strength. It added the towed artillery to it and additional support equipment to all of these units. Eventually we'll rename those to a division as we add more elements to them. So now that they will fight better in all terrains. Now we need to new factory. I think we're going to increase heavy fighter production. Now, when you add, we'll go over it a little more in detail. When you add more divisions, and one thing I'm sort of delaying on some of these battle plans is that you have to reassign new divisions and into how you want to do that. So I just sort of think it's best to wait until, mostly wait at least until you get the whole maybe hearing the gardeners. Most of the divisions ready for your army or army group in one place, and then draw your battle plans. Set that out. The longer they have time to plan, now I'm sure you're hearing I canceled one episode because of this. Now there's a back again. Sorry about that. The longer they have to plan, the more bonuses they get up to a point. I don't know what else things have changed. Okay, so the Munich conference talks between have been held in Munich between the leaders of Germany, Britain, France, and Italy to discuss the future of Czechoslovakia. Note, Czechoslovakia was not in the talks to determine the future of Czechoslovakia. Both the British and French have accepted our claims to the Sudetenland is legitimate, and their previous offer of support to the Czechs have been rescinded. Recognizing the hopelessness of their situation, the Czechs have surrendered the Sudeten territories to us, and their oppressed German inhabitants will no longer at long last, sorry, I'm not reading this very well, am I, be brought into the Winterland. Okay, little historical facts. The Germans weren't historically oppressed. They started, this was a long campaign of war justification by Hitler. There was a lot of agitation by the Sudeten Germans. Konrad Henlein, that's who's pictured there. Those faces under the paperclip. I don't like those paper clips. were doing a lot of agitation so that there was a Czech reaction to them, most assuredly, that the Germans blew up out of proportion, I would say. Now, and I say that Hitler was justifying his war goals. Hitler wanted a war between Germany and Czechoslovakia. He did not want France or Britain to be involved in this. So he really was warmongering. And what failed to happen was Chamberlain called Hoxha or whoever forget exactly who he talked to in Czechoslovakia, and just told them, we're not going to come into the war, and you should just give the Germans what they want, and then we'll have peace. So the Germans backed down, denying Hitler his training war. So Hitler wanted a war, but not a general war. So we're going to inherit the German demand for Sudeten territory in Czechoslovakia, which is home to a considerable German minority, have intensified. A summit held in Munich. This is the general report. This report goes out to all nations, basically. It's good to see this. For the second time, the Prime Minister has returned to Germany, bringing peace with honor. I believe it is a peace for our time. Yeah. I don't know if your time is for that immediate day. Yes, but generally speaking. Okay. So we've demanded the Sudeten land. We've got it. We've got some more factories that were in the border regions. We also need to pick another national focus. A lot we can do. First Vienna Award, reassert Eastern claims, which will get us Memel. Do more naval effort. Those are all very worthy to do. We can do the anti-Comintern Pact, do the Ribbentrop-Molotov, Ribbentrop and Molotov Pact, Molotov-Ribbentrop, however you say that, or air innovations. I think we're going to do the air innovations next. So we have that, and we now have one more factory. I believe that's from the borderlands. We'll be getting some more there. We're going to increase even more so our anti-tank production, and since we now have 8 need and 13 there, let's do some trading adjusting here. So we will increase this by 1, and now it looks like we get more from Czechoslovakia, so we will increase this by 2 and decrease this by 1. Sorry about the noise. So now we're only at a -5 for oil. So it means things that using it will be produced more efficiently. And we don't have any negative production elements from the lack of rubber. Early on I tried to play with this and adding No. Yeah, I just want that. Adding synthetic oil plants as sort of as needed, but I don't think that that's the right strategy to do. We will be needing to produce them, but by starting out and producing lots and lots of early on civilian factories will allow us to ultimately build more things quicker. And that's sort of the point with this. Okay, let's see, let's pick a Chief of Navy Staff. We have 2 options. Karl Donitz, he's the submarine commander. He eventually inherited the job. Well, no, not inherited, because Reeder was fired. We're going to go with Trying to look to see if there's any reason to have screen. We're just not going to be doing much ship-to-ship action. If you're going to be doing ship-to-ship action, go with him. Or I would, because we're going to mainly be focusing on subs, so we're going to do that. And now even more. More fighters. And so this division here, we want to attach it to this corps. But it has not been assigned to the battle plan, because it's been attached later. So when we're going to attach this to the core here, we now have done that. Now what we can do here is you click this, and then oh no, okay. What we want to do is that. Yes, see now we have 7 divisions, and it's left click. And we are, so now they have 8 divisions assigned to that battle plane. Okay, armored spearhead. We just researched. Just checking out infrastructural changes that we may need to do. We need to research paratroopers. And now we have improved infantry equipment. That is excellent. And we're going to go back to doctrines. Sure, plunk. These doctrine accumulations will make the German army significantly stronger than a lot of other nations. So. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Please post your comments and questions. Hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you very soon.